Hey, hey, hey everyone. Hi, it's Nettie. And we're back again for another Monday night, as always. And we love this night. We really, really do because we feel that the Monday's night, if we can give you some kind of inspiration and motivation and value, then it's going to help you get through the week. And that's what it's all about. We just want to help you all as much as we can. So we're glad to see you all back here again tonight, and to our regulars that always show up, bless you, that's for sure. And any newcomers, the same goes to you. Thank you so much. Just please put your name in the chat and introduce yourself. We'd love to say hi to you. And if you have any comments or if there's anything that you would like us to talk about on these hour-long hangouts that we do, just shoot us a message or say it in the chat room. We'll see it and we can see what we can do for you. So, because we always do these things just for you, just for all of you out there. This is not for our, well, we learn from it too, trust me, we do. And tonight in particular, I am going to learn a lot. Our title of our event tonight is our top productivity hacks, and they're being revealed. And this is so super interesting to me because I can be all over the board when it comes to productivity, and I am so excited to listen to the rest of these girls because I know darn well I'm going to learn something from them, and bless them, because I need it. I really do. But I'm going to talk about the one thing that really gets me down and affects my productivity and how I have learned to get out of it. And I think this affects everybody out there. It doesn't come on an everyday basis, but it comes. It rears its very ugly head when you least need it and when you least want it. And that is when you become overpowered by some huge negative thought. And it can come, excuse me, I'm sorry, it can come in the form of, perhaps you've had a very serious argument with your child. Maybe you've had it with your spouse or your partner. Maybe you've had it with a really good friend. Or maybe, it's your boss, the job that you're at, or a coworker. But there are so many things that when things happen to you like that just upset your world, that you don't know how to pull yourself out of it, and you sit down to your computer to become productive, and all you do, you wander off. So you think, okay, I'll pick up a book, I'll read a self-development book, this will pull me out of this, but all of a sudden you can't even focus on the words, your mind starts to wander. Now, I think there's other women especially very much are prone to this. I think God blessed men with more of a brain that has little compartments in it, and they seem to have that capability that when they've got stress going on or negative thoughts, that they can take it and put it into this little compartment up here, close the lid, and away they go. They go to work for 8 hours, and then they walk out, and boom, that compartment pops up, and they start to think about it again. But I don't think women are quite that put together. At least I'm not. But I have come up with something that I want to teach you tonight. And I didn't come up with this. I learned this from someone that I follow, Dr. Karen, and she explained that, when we get these negative thoughts, that how it affects we think that we don't have any control over our thoughts, okay? Let me bring this back because I'm going to show you what power you do have over your thoughts. But we think we don't have any control over our thoughts. We allow our thoughts to get control over us. And then what's it do? It affects our emotions. And once we get our emotions in gear, then it affects our spirit. And then ultimately, if we don't handle it, it's going to affect our body. And that is not a good thing, because when we're having all that stress going on in our body and we're thinking about it and dwelling upon it, we can end up actually making ourselves sick. So we need to be able to pull ourselves out of that. So I want to teach this little exercise to you that it doesn't take very long, that I've watched her, and I've done it. I've done it more than once, and trust me, it really helps and it really works. So we're going to do this together because I truly believe with all my heart that there are days when your productivity is affected by some kind of outside thought that you need to kick to the curb and get on with it, okay? So the first thing I want, this is going to take you from a place of negativity to joy. This is going to be really quick, and the first thing I want you to do is I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to think about someone who really ticks you off, that has really hurt you. They've gotten under your skin. They did something wrong to you, and you just stop, and I want you to picture that person. They really hurt you. Can you feel this? I mean, when you picture this person, do you feel something in your gut that, by the way, is our second brain? And you feel like you start to get this feeling in you where the stress comes out, which is a hormone that's being released. And it's just, if we continue to think about that, all we're going to do is we just get into a state where we can't be in, because it's not productive. It's not healthy, and we need to let it go. So go back there. I want you to think about this person one more time. And this time, I want you to take a deep breath. Breathe in and think of something that brings you the most beautiful feeling, something that's good, really good, mentally good, physically good. Love. It's just so good. Now, right now, I'm thinking, I'm holding her baby, my grandson. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. And just let that soak that in, okay? Take a deep breath. Let it sit with you. Let it sink into your belly. Let it sink into your heart. Let it fill your body with those feel-good transmitters that are serotonin, dopamine, and love. Just let it sit for a moment and think of the colors, the sounds, the taste, the feeling you are having when you picture this person or this place or this beautiful experience. Just let it breathe in and let it sit. Okay? You did that. You did that. You took your mind on a journey and you took it from negativity to positivity. I just guided you through it. Okay? And that's all I wanted to show you, because if I had something that holds me back, it's probably that thing. So I have had to learn to exercise this so that I can put all that negativity away. And that does it. Just think of something that brings you joy. Maybe it's your why. Think of that. And that's all I want for you today, guys. That is my one really quick tip on productivity. The rest, I'm going to leave this up to you with the other girls, because I can't wait to hear what they've got to tell us. I need it. Trust me, I need it too. So I'm going to be taking notes. But I hope that's helped you in some way. Do not suffer through this. There is no reason to suffer through this. You can take the negative and you can get rid of it and fill it with the positive so that you can be very productive. Okay? All right. That's all Nettie's got for tonight. I hope you enjoyed that. And I am going to pass it right off to Zen. She's on her cell phone tonight because she's in Connecticut. So thank goodness she made it, though. What would Tilt be without Zen? So,
Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Yeah.
Okay. Listen, I'm in my 87-year-old mother's bedroom. That embroidery has been up there since I was a young child. So this is an interesting trip, and this is a good walk through that exercise that you just did, because of course I had, the little family altercation. And this is so funny because I used deep breathing and this too shall pass or let it go a million times. And then I came down to this, and I don't know if many of you know this, but I'm Italian and Irish, okay? And so Italians can be a little hot-headed at times. It's just in our blood. And so the altercation was of no big thing, but it came down to disrespect. Okay, so I just, after saying let it go and all that stuff a million times, I started to think about the movie The Godfather, because I really just needed to laugh. And I thought, okay, what would Marlon Brando say? And he would say, the level of disrespect is not acceptable. And I just started making myself laugh. So however you need to get to that pretty place, just do it. And today I'm in a, you know what, it rolled off my back within 2 hours, and that, it could have been 10 minutes, but because it happened the way that it did, it took 2 hours. And you know what, it's gone, it's over for me. So you have to get to wherever you get, whether it's visualizing beautiful flowers or if it's just coming up with something funny, like that for yourself. But The Godfather was a big part of growing up in an Italian family, and so I just went straight to the humor, and it was fun, and I enjoyed it. And so now, I can set that aside and get to what I need to do. And this is an interesting time to have this tilt topic, because I've been gone 8 days, and it's been difficult to stay on top of things, because not only, number one, I'm visiting family, so I have limited time. I've also had limited internet because my mother's 87. She doesn't have Wi-Fi. There's no need for it. So I've been running to Starbucks to get in a little bit of internet time, other than working on a smartphone, which for me is difficult for blogging or anything else. It's okay for video, but not much else. So I'm just going to get straight to the practical part, because I just had the opportunity to, I didn't even have a chance to post on Facebook because I just never got to Wi-Fi today. So I apologize for that. I didn't even put an invitation to Tilt. But I'm going to cut right to the chase and give you the practical stuff. And this is funny because I don't have a fancy name for what I do. I just have notes on notes on your iPhone. And I just have a thing called things to do list. And so I list them as motivational. Number one is motivational and inspirational, and under that heading, this is in the AM, and I'm a fairly early riser. Now that it's summer, I get up just a little bit later because I don't have to drive my daughter to school. But 2 things happen for 45 minutes, and one is 15 minutes of reading, and then a half hour of listening to an audio. Now, if I have a little bit more time, an hour, I listen a little bit longer to the audio, take notes, and etc., or read a little bit longer. It depends on which one is inspiring me and motivating me more that day, and that's what I do. And then I go have breakfast, usually go to the gym, and because both of those things, one nourishes my body, one nourishes my body in another way. And when you're kicking off a little bit of endorphins, I find that my mind focuses better. I also take my version of NZT48, and if you saw the movie Limitless, you'll know what that means. But it's not an illegal narcotic. If you'd like the mix, I'll tell it to you. But you know what? You have to be healthy to take this, and it's all just amino acids and a few other things that I mix in for that cocktail. But it gives you focused concentration for about 2 hours at a time, okay? Super, super concentration. 2 hours, okay? If you want it, PM me. I will give you the instructions to take it, okay? So during those 2 hours of focus, because I come back from the gym, that's usually when I take that little cocktail of NZT48, Zen Lil style, and I do my IPAs, okay? So what that means is, and I may do this in my car on the way back home from the gym. Here, I've been doing it just at random. I do 2 15-second videos. Those are for Instagram. I do 2 to 3 minute videos. Now, I usually get rid of 1 or 2 of those because I just don't like it. I stumble over words too much or whatever, but I film 3, keep 1. And then I do ads or marketing of some kind, and I post my video, and then I syndicate a blog post or a video or whatever. I just go straight to syndication. And I just created, here's my little hack for that, because I was spending a lot of time doing that. I created a document, and this came from Ken from Totally Inspired Living Tribe. I created a document with all the syndication websites that I use, and so I can click right through, syndicate, boom, done. Simple. And then, let's see, I blog, and I blog 2 to 3 times a week. I've been on vacation. I blogged once. So when I get back, I'll go back to 2 to 3 times a week. One of the other things that I do, and these are 2 things that, you know what, I do them and they don't take me long at all, 15 minutes each, okay? I get pictures ready for Instagram. I like to post 2 to 3 times a day, whether it's a quote that I on InstaQuote, or if I just use whatever app and I create usually 1 quote, 1 lifestyle picture, and I do that 15-second video every other day. So write that down, because if you like Instagram, people really like my 15-second videos. So no matter how good or bad they are, they react to them in some way. But they always get in touch with me, whether it's a direct message or they click through. I get leads that way. Do they always buy straight away? No, but they're interested. So use video. The other thing I do, and for some reason, and I'm going to work on this because I have to figure out how to actually use it for good marketing skills, is Pinterest, because I have a lot of interest on Pinterest. And the cool thing is that just happens sort of organically. And I think I'm giving a training on that next week. I think it's slated somewhere in there. But Pinterest is really interesting to me because everything is about social media, right? Well, to me, Pinterest is the least social of social medias, but it's very visual, and people love quick images. And so they're reactive. So if you post, I have, I think, 15 boards at this moment. And the interesting thing is that you can blog or be great at storytelling, but your boards often tell a little bit more about you. Now, many people who are successful on Pinterest, so please don't take just my word on this. There are plenty of successful internet marketers who only have boards that are about internet marketing, SEO, Pinterest, and keep it right on social media. But I have boards that are about things that are hobbies for me. I love cars. I love exotic cars. I love Asian art. I love, a few things. And, and I put them all up on my boards. So I spend 10 to 15 minutes a day adding 2 to 3 pictures to 3 to 4 boards. That's it. And they always have my link to my blog. And to me, it gives me a snippet of what somebody is about. And I figured this out not by doing my own boards, but when people started to click on my boards, and I would click through on their name and I'd say, let me see what this person is about. And you see what their boards are about, whether they're into fitness or if they're into healthy eating or whether they're into astronomy, tattoos, you name it. And you get a snippet about what somebody's about. And I thought, well, this is real interesting because this tells kind of a snapshot storytelling about me. And so when somebody clicks on or repins one of my pins, it's almost to me like this is a nice little segue into getting to know me. So I want to, and you can too, or you could keep it strictly about affiliate marketing, internet marketing, or whatever your business happens to be. Keep it strictly business, or you can give them a little insight into who you are. And I think I like to give them the insight into who I am and the things that interest me, because it tells them a little bit about me and why they might want to do business with me. So that's one of my, and I think I am going to do that next week or the week after, the Pinterest thing. So we'll talk about that later. The other hacks, and I just want to tell you this because, yes, Facebook can be a time suck, okay? So if you're going to do scrolling on Facebook, do it in the morning right after you've done your motivational and inspirational thing and check what's in your newsfeed. Stay there for 10 minutes, 15 minutes max, and then get off. And the only reason during the day that I'm ever on Facebook again is to answer private messages having to do with business only. If there's some private message in there asking me if I'm married, I just completely disregard it. If it's about business, I attend to it. Otherwise, I'm off Facebook and I scroll again in the afternoon. So I have a couple of set times to do that. I'm the same way with email. Catch me in the morning, I scroll through and see what's important in the morning, and then I don't touch it again until about 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Then I dedicate another half hour to scrolling through it to see if anything important is there. And I'm just going to throw out some names for you because I think I'm taking up enough time, and I don't have a timer, so I don't know. But things to check into that you might be interested, and one of them, I'm sure you all know about Bitly for stats and analysis, but that's an interesting one, and you really should be analyzing and taking stats on whatever it is that you're doing with marketing. And that took me a long time to get that. It just isn't part of my personality to want to track and, you know, and do that kind of thing. But Hootsuite is a social media. You can preload whatever you want for Twitter, Facebook, I believe, and you can't do Pinterest, but Instagram maybe. I'm not sure. So you'll have to look up Hootsuite. I haven't used it in a very long time, but Hootsuite is one of those things that you can, you know, use for easy automation for some of your social media. Another one is Twitter feed. Twitter feed I used to use a lot, and I'm going to get back into it because somebody just mentioned it on Facebook, and I thought, oh my God, what happened to my Twitter feed account? But it was logged onto, I have 3 Twitter accounts because one is for hypnotherapy, one's my personal, and one is for online business. So I finally linked the right Twitter feed to my Facebook feed, the right Facebook page. So I'm going to start using that again because it's actually a fantastic idea. And Twitter is a great way to keep it at 140 characters and say what you need to say. And that's why I like Instagram too. Short, sweet. I write the copy in advance and keep that in notes, and then I pick out those inspirational quotes, put the hashtags, and sometimes I don't use hashtags. I use different software, Instagress or another software, to do my automation for me there. And let's see, yeah, don't use Facebook as your time suck because, you know, it's nice to socialize, and when you have time, do it, but dedicate 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the afternoon, and then answer your private messages if they're involving business, and then, you know, stick with your IPAs and things that you need to do for you, for your business, because otherwise you're treating it like a hobby. And I say that with a smile on my face because I've been on vacation for 8 days, but you can bet on Thursday I'll be back at it. So I'm going to wrap it up right there, Nettie, and thanks so much.
Thanks, kiddo. We could hear you just fine, and thank you for all that breakdown of your day. I learned some tips from that, and I think your inbox is also going to be inundated wanting to know the cocktail that you have for the people that will give them 2 hours of. And I saw that movie, Limitless, and I don't remember seeing anything about the cocktail in there. So,
you know what it is? Am I on? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, what happened was I saw that movie, and then I saw it again because it really intrigued me, and I thought, you know what? If it's already in movie form, they're already working on a med list, and I'm completely against meds. I think you all know I'm pretty organic. So I started researching vitamins, minerals, amino acids. I just went online and started researching what I could mix together that would give me focus and concentration. So I call it loosely NZT48 because it's just a concoction that I came up with. But once I started researching that, there's a few people online that, you know, they're life hackers. They do it too. And so, you know, there's prepackaged tablets, which I have not tried yet, but because I like my own concoction and I can get all of it at the health food store. So if you are interested, yeah, PM me. You might have to wait until Thursday because I'm not sure if I have it on my notes on my iPhone. It might be in my computer, but I will get that. So
well, thank you. I think I'm pretty positive there's going to be a lot of people asking you about that because that is one of the biggest issues, again, being able to focus. And thank you for breaking everything down for us on your day. I'm going to shoot over to Morgan now and see what she's got for any kind of productivity hacks that can help everyone that's watching.
I definitely want to get that concoction off you, Zen. That sounds awesome. Very excited about that. Right, where do I start? Well, I think the main problem with people's productivity and with my own productivity is the overwhelm that you get when you start this business, or even when you've been doing it for a while. There can be so much to do. But if you narrow it down, there's actually not that much to do. And so what I want to talk today about is how to get over that overwhelm and realize that there are only a few things you need to be doing. And if you get really specific and you get into a really, I don't want to say strict routine, but if you get into a stable routine, you can get everything done in, in enough time to still, live the life of freedom that everybody wants. Because, I mean, what's the point in working for like 10 hours a day if you're doing this model, this business model, working from home? You want to be able to be as effective as you possibly can in the shortest amount of time. And I think that does take some skill. I don't think it's a thing that you have straight away when you start, because there's just so many things to learn. But I think after you've been doing it for a while, you can get to a place where you set, routines in place and strategies, and you know exactly what you're doing, so you just kind of plan your day in that way and things get done. So I did a video, some of you that are watching this Hangout might have actually seen that video, just on probably, when did I start implementing it? Probably about 6 weeks ago. I was in that place, I was overwhelmed. I was like, okay, I've got X amount of time per week, and I've got all this stuff to do, and I think maybe Kalatu was just coming out, or Kalatu Premium or something, and I wanted to design that, and there was all these things that weren't going to be bringing me money straight away that I thought I needed to do, right? Like designing my blog and things that aren't exactly going to bring you money, straight away. So I had to really sit down, and I thought to myself, what can I do to try and get everything done that I want, so that by the end of the week I've got 4 blog posts out, 5 videos, or whatever it was, so you've got exactly what you need. So what I did was because I've got really limited time anyway with the girls, but they do go into home-based care, which is just a lady that lives down the road, for 10 hours a week. So there is some time during the day on different days that I have to myself, which is awesome. And that's only been the case recently. But what I do is I've written my day out like a 9-to-5 job, basically. Like every single hour of my day, I've written it on a piece of paper. And what I do, and then I plot the things in my day that can't be changed. So, when the girls have their sleeps, when we've got gymnastics for the girls, or they do like all these things, gymnastics, music, playgroups. So I'm always out doing things. So when I'm out with them, I can't do any work whatsoever, apart from maybe put a photo on Instagram or whatever. But what I prefer to do, and this is just my personality, because I guess I'm quite a structured person. I do quite like to have my sitting down and working time and then my time off. I'm not really one of these people that like to sort of drag things on for the entire 15 hours that I'm awake. I'd rather get it all done and then be able to not have to do anything. So basically, just to cut a long story short, I just plan every single day. So for example, on Monday, I say when the girls have their first sleep of the day, I do this particular email. When they have their second sleep of the day, I do this particular email. And then I might have the rest of the Monday off until 7 p.m. and between 7 and 9 p.m. I do this blog post with this topic, with this video. It's very, very, very specific. I never ever sit down at my desk without knowing exactly what I'm doing, down to the topic of the email, the topic of the video, because I find that if you sit down at your desk without knowing what you're going to do, if you've got a to-do list with 10 things on it and you sit down at your desk and think, great, I've got a to-do list, what should I do? You look at your to-do list. It's so confusing. It's just too confusing, because you're kind of weighing up, well, that's going to take that long and that's going to take that long. Before you know it, 15 minutes has passed and you haven't started a single thing. So my recommendation today would be to plan your week down to the T. And if you're not a structured person like that and you don't like doing that, then I don't know if this is going to help you much, but I find for myself that it's really, really, really helpful. And you don't have to plan every single minute of the day. You can give yourself 6 hours off in the middle of the day, which is what I have to do because of the kids. But if you know that, okay, 10 a.m. sit down, I'm going to be, like as an example, so on a Monday I prepare 3 emails. I prepare my first email to remind my list about the Empower Hour and the Tilt Hangout. Then I prepare a second email to send out 15 minutes before the Tilt Hour to schedule to go out, and then I do my third email. It's 20 minutes before the Empower Hour to schedule to go out. So I know that on Tuesday, when Tuesday comes, my 3 emails for the day are already prepared and scheduled, and I don't need to send a single email because the girls go into home base at 9 a.m. New Zealand time, and I've got sort of 3 hours before this hangout right now, and I can use that time solidly to do, I can't remember what's on my list, but to do, I don't know, a blog or, you know, something along those lines. So yeah, that's my first little hack, just be really specific, so you don't have to use your energy to think what to do, you just sit down and literally do it. What have I got else on my list? Videos. So what I do is I do like 5 videos at once, and I put on different clothes. Now this is going to sound really, really funny, but you don't have to change your pants, obviously, just your top. But because I find that, I mean, sometimes I do a video every day, but if I don't want to do that, I literally say, okay, I'm going to spend the next hour and a half doing 5 videos. I'll sit down, I'll plan my 5 videos in 15 minutes or 20 minutes, then I'll get like 5 tops out, and I'll go to different areas of my house and put on my different tops, and I'll tie up my hair or put it down, and I'll just do 5 videos on my planned topics, and I'll just save them in my computer, and then, you know, that's when I upload them to Facebook every day or put them on my blog or whatever. So you don't have to worry about, okay, today I've got to do a video, what am I going to do it about? You know, it's already, I mean, the whole theme of what I'm trying to say is that don't think about what you're going to do just before you do it. You need to be that step ahead, because if you're that step ahead, then, I don't know, it's just way better. It just works way better. What's another one? If you've got no time to do a blog post, say you haven't emailed your list for 2 days, and you've just been so busy, you've been at your 9-to-5 job, or you've been with the kids, and you think, oh my God, this is my 3rd day and I haven't emailed my list, and you feel so guilty. You think, oh no, they're going to forget who I am, and you've got like half an hour. That is not really enough time to do a quality blog post and then send a quality email to make yourself be a quality marketer. So what I do, if I've only got a tiny amount of time, is I do either get one of my videos I've already done, or I do a video and I upload it to YouTube, and that takes like 5 minutes, just a 2-minute video. Then I go straight to my Aweber and I just start writing content in my Aweber email, as if it was a blog post, but you save time because you don't need to format your blog post, you don't need to you know, put images and things like that as much. It's a lot quicker just to email than it is to do a whole blog post. And then at the end of my email, or halfway through or 3 times through, I'll say, you know, if you want to hear the rest of the story, click to watch my video. So it's basically, I'm directing them to my YouTube channel so they can watch my other YouTube videos as well. And they get the value in the email as opposed to getting sent to my blog. So that just saves time. And what else do I have? Oh, okay, I'll leave it here after this one, but this is the last thing that I want to mention. If you're doing Facebook PPC marketing, you will probably find that, well, you will find that the content that you're using as your hook, whether it be an ebook or a video series or whatever you're using to get your leads to opt in, your audience, I mean, that hook isn't going to be good enough forever, okay? It gets old. People don't, after a while, if you're using the same audience, even if you mix up the audiences, after a while, your click-through rate's going to go down, your opt-in rate, you know, because people have seen the ad, they've seen the content, they've already got the content. So my tip for that is you need to be one step ahead. If you have got an ad out there and it's getting 10 leads a day and you feel, yay, great, this is so awesome, I'm so happy, I can leave Facebook for a while, do something else, you can't really do that. You need to be thinking, okay, what's my next hook going to be? What's my next ebook I'm going to give out? Or what's my next video series? And if you spend 15 minutes a day planning your next one, when your ads start to decline and you realize, oh my God, I'm paying like $2 a click and I've got to turn off my ad because it's too expensive for me, you don't have like 3 weeks without any leads coming in because you're creating the content, so you're already that one step ahead. And that was the mistake I made. I had a couple of weeks without any leads because I ran out. People stopped getting my ebook because they have already had it or they'd seen the ad or whatever. And it took me, you know, a while to make new content. So that's just wasting time. And so you need to just think ahead for that as well. I think I might have done. Oh, just one more thing. If you're really pressed for time, you want to make this work and you're really, really pressed for time, you should only be concentrating on income producing activities. Posting, you know, I know you can get leads off Facebook doing videos and things like that, but what you need to be doing is you need to be getting leads in and you need to be emailing your leads. If you're getting quality leads in and you're emailing them quality content, those are two income-producing activities that you can't be without to make sales, right? So if you don't have, those are the first two things that you should be mastering. Once you've got leads coming in, then you can spend more time worrying about what you're going to do for your status updates on Facebook and things like that. And I'm not saying that it's not important to be seen on social media, because that's wrong. It is important. But if you're not getting any leads in, then that's more important. Okay, so maybe cut it back to posting once a day on Facebook and concentrating more on lead generation and creating content to send to your list, as opposed to thinking that if you post 1 or 2 videos a day on Facebook and do no lead generation, that you're going to make this work, because you need to just focus on the income producing activities. Right, I have well outdone my time, so I'll pass it back to you, Nidhi.
Thanks, Morgan. Yeah, overwhelm. That, what you started out with, that is so huge. Been there, done that, burnt the shirt a few times, and I go to my drawer and the shirt's back in there, so sometimes I have to burn it again. But your pointers that you said really helped. I want to ask you something, though. How long would you suggest people spend on putting their blog together? That's a real time sucker for a lot of people, and they can end up spending 3 to 4 hours, and before they know it, they have no time to do anything else. They're brain drained at that point.
Yeah. I think if you're in this for the long term, if you're going to be if you're planning on being a quality marketer for 10, 15, 20, 30 years, and you're building your blog from scratch, which we all have started from scratch, every single piece of content needs to be excellent. Every single piece of content needs to be, absolutely top notch. So what I would suggest you do is, instead of trying to do 6 blog posts a week that are all average, cut it back to like 2 or 3, like what Zen was saying, 2 or 3 blog posts a week, but spend a little bit of time on those, because although, yes, it takes an hour and a half to do that, or 2 hours to do that, you don't want to look back in 3 years and have this amazing blogging, your blog, and the content's kind of average, because you want to position yourself as a quality marketer. So for myself, and this isn't any expert opinion that I'm saying, this is just myself, I would prefer to have even 2 quality blog posts go out a week that I maybe spend a half an hour each day blogging, as in all the things that go into blogging, and then only publishing 2 a week, then trying to cram in 6 a week and have them not be as top quality. And if you're short for things to send your list, because we talk about, we teach blog and send it to your list, then just do what I was explaining about, doing a video and sending some value in the email, teaching a concept, maybe a personal development concept or something like that. So you're sending them a concept, and then maybe twice a week just send them a really high quality blog post. Right. I mean, that's just my opinion. It might be wrong, might not be, but
it's a very good opinion. I think it's wise, though, for the newbies, the new people that are just getting into blogging. Don't beat yourself up on your blog, though. I mean, you will, over the period of months, become pretty super efficient at it, and your blogging will just rise to the cream of the crop. So you won't start off being perfect, but you definitely will increase your what am I trying to say here? You'll increase your value that you're giving to people. So thanks Morgan. And Kristen, what can we get from you tonight?
My gosh, well, first off, thank you to everyone on the panel for what you guys have shared so far, because you guys have given me a lot of great ideas. And I'm going to be brutally honest with you. What we're really talking about is discipline and consistency. That's all productivity really is being consistent and being self-disciplined, and all of that is habits. And I will admit that some of these habits have taken me a very long time to implement in my own life, and some of them I still struggle with on a daily basis. And so that's my first piece of advice, is be kind to yourself. Especially if you're first getting started. We talk about going in the grind and working. And if you come home and you're tired and you make the bad decision and you sit down and watch TV instead of writing a blog, and then you go to bed feeling horrible about yourself, let it go. Tell yourself it's okay. Because what's going to happen is if you punish yourself for that and make yourself feel guilty and feel horrible, you're going to wake up the next morning and you're going to do the same exact thing. And it's going to become a cycle. So be kind to yourself. If you have an unproductive day, let it go and do something the next day. And leads me into the next piece of advice. If you have a really, really busy day and you start feeling guilty again, do at least one thing. Even if it is just simply writing a blog, and that's it. That's the only thing you do. Or emailing your list. That's the only thing you do. Or even if it's just shooting a 2-minute video. If that's the only thing you're doing for your business, that's okay. But you have to do something every single day. Something. Otherwise, you're going to get into that cycle of procrastination and not doing it, and we don't want to see that. So those are my tips if you're completely just getting started, because these are habits that, unfortunately, coming from a job, we are taught to do the opposite of what we're teaching here. And so for many of us, you have to completely break old habits and create new ones. So I'm going to just, to be honest with you, give you some resources. A lot of apps I want to give you some good ideas for, because it sounds really great to be able to sit down and create a schedule and then be able to stick to it. But again, you're creating a habit, and sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get there. So I want to give you a few tools that you might be able to use along the way as you're creating these habits. I know that there's a ton of books out there, but the only one that I really read that kind of goes along with this that I really, really liked is called No Excuses by Brian Tracy. It's all about the power of self-discipline, but it's so much more than that. It's an awesome personal development book. Highly, highly recommend it. And now for the apps. I literally just have a list. Some of these I've personally used. Some of them I've just seen that come highly recommended. But I think most of them are really, really cool. Number one, and I have to also preface, all of these are good for Macs, and I will specify if they're good for a PC. I'm sorry, for PC users, it's not as easy to find them. The first one is called Self-Control. You've probably heard about this one. This one is simply, it allows you to block websites for a certain amount of time. So you can literally just go in and say, okay, I want to be blocked from Facebook for all day or for 4 hours or whatever the time limit is. And it literally will not let you go to that website. If you try to go to Facebook, then it won't do it, because we unconsciously do it, or at least I'll do it. I'll be sitting here in the middle of a blog and I'll be going at it, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to find this one quote, and it's on Facebook. So I go on Facebook, and then before I know it, I find myself scrolling through stuff for a half an hour, and I'm like, oh crap, that was totally not what I meant to do. So this completely blocks websites for you. On the opposite side of that is called Stay Focused, which is good for Mac and PC. This one allows you to time yourself, like Zen mentioned, allowing yourself to get onto Facebook just to simply connect with friends, to do the wasting the time type of stuff in the morning or whatever time you want to do it. But so that you're not caught up in doing it for an hour, this allows you to schedule time. So it reminds you and it kicks you off after 20 minutes. So it works the opposite of the self-control one. Those are the basic ones. These next ones I'm really excited about, because I'll be honest, some of these I have not tried, but I'm really excited to try them. There's one called Concentrate, and what this one does is it literally allows you to create tasks. So for example, if you want to write a blog post, you could write writing time. And when you click on that in this app, it automatically closes out all apps and all websites that you do not need access to while you write a blog post, and it automatically only allows you to go to the ones that you need in order to complete that task. So you can keep yourself very, very organized. Like if you want to do Facebook and social media and that's your time, it will block out everything else other than what you need to work on at that time. And I can write all these in the notes in the things unless somebody else does. The other great one is called Notional. I don't really know how to say that one. Notional Velocity, but it basically is a place where you can keep all of your notes. I don't know about you, but I have 20 different, notepads. I have different journals. I have my phone. I have my computer where I keep different notes from different trainings, and it gets really confusing to find stuff. So this gives you one central location to put everything. And here's the cool thing about this. This is awesome for blog writing and emails and videos, Because think about it. Okay, so say you listen to an inner circle and you're taking your notes. Well, then you forget where you put those notes. But that's all content. That's all stuff that those notes, you can literally just go and turn it into a blog post. And so if you keep your notes all in one place, and you're ever like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to write today, I don't know what I'm going to talk about, I don't know what my video is going to be about, you can go to your notes, you can look through them, come up with a topic, and there you go. The next one is called the Focus Booster, and this actually allows you to put your to-do list into this app. You actually write your to-do list, and it actually keeps track of when you accomplish. So for those like people who like to check, I love it. Sometimes I don't know if you guys do this, but I'll actually like complete a few things, and then on my to-do list I'll write them on there after they're done, just so I can cross them out and make myself feel more productive. So this allows you to do that. It allows you to actually go in and keep your to-do list right there, but it tracks your time. That's the most important thing. It gives you like 25 minutes per task. So that way you don't find yourself spending an hour Facebook commenting or doing whatever. It keeps it all very, very organized for you. The next one, which is awesome for blog writing, and that's called Focus Writer. This allows you to, when you open it up, it gives you basically a blank screen. So the only thing that's opened is your tablet for writing a blog, like Microsoft Word or whatever. But so you get all the same, you know, where you can change the font and all that good stuff. But it completely blocks out everything on your computer, and all you see is where you can write. But if you say, okay, well, that would be great, but what about my research? I have to be able to go and get information. I have to get quotes. I have to get pictures. I have to do this. Lisa Torres, she teaches about, on the weekends, I don't know if she still does this, but she's done it in the past, where on the weekends, she actually she schedules out all of her content. So she has everything ready to go. And that's something that you can do. If you work 9 to 5 and you're like, you know what, getting a good quality blog post is really difficult for me to do, take 3-4 hours on Sunday evening and write your 2 to 3 blog posts. Make them really, really good, and then just schedule them for the week. You don't have to blog every day. You don't have to even blog 2 to 3 times a week. You can blog one time and just create 3 different blogs. So have your content ready to go for the week. You know, that way, that, you know, what Zen was, or what Nettie was asking Morgan about how long a blog should take. Well, if you have all your content ready to go, and then all you have to do is sit down and write it, it shouldn't take you that long. And then really what you have to be focusing on is the syndication of the blog, because if you write it and nobody sees it, well, that was a pointless blog to write. Yes, so that was called Focus Writer, and the last one is called Time Out. You got to take time away from your computer. Even if you're not actually, okay, here's again, I'm being very honest. If you guys watched the video, I'm like giving you all my like truths here. I have literally sat at my computer for 8 hours before and done nothing. Like, done nothing. Like, you look back at your 8 hours and you're like, I accomplished like one thing. That one thing I could have accomplished in 45 minutes if I had actually focused on it, but otherwise I did nothing. I mean, yeah, okay, I did this. I replied to this person. I replied to that person, but I don't have any kids distracting me. I have a dog, but that's it. So I had nothing to bring me back. So for 8 hours I did nothing. Here's the thing though. This timeout, where this actually gives you a timeout, so every hour or 90 minutes, it reminds you to go take a break. So even if you're not being productive, if this timer goes off, it brings you back to focus and say, oh my gosh, 90 minutes just passed of my life and I accomplished nothing. It's time to take a break and come back and refocus. Or if you're a little bit better, like, you know, compare me talking right now to Morgan, you know, Morgan might be that person who's so focused on her task that she needs that reminder to actually get up and walk away. Though I guess that's why she has babies too. I'm sure they remind her to take her break. But so that's, you know, that's another great app, is just remembering to take that break. And here's the biggest thing. I said this in my video that I did on Facebook today. Somebody once told me that if you give somebody a task and you give them 8 hours to accomplish it, it will take them 8 hours. So if you tell yourself, oh my gosh, I have 8 hours to work today, this is what I need to get done, it will take you 8 hours to complete all that. If you give yourself only 2 hours, you will find a way to get it done. So focus. And understand that if you get your stuff done in 2 to 3 hours every single day, you have the rest of the day to live and be free from your work. And so that right there should be motivation enough to just focus and stay there. But again, don't beat yourself up. These are habits. I mean, the bottom line is procrastination, all these things. I'm 27 years old. It took me 26 years to get all of these habits down, the bad ones. So it's going to take at least 6 weeks to get them out. So be kind to yourself. And if you have any question about those apps, I can write them in the comments. Just let me know. So back to you, Nettie.
Brilliant, brilliant, Kristen. You nailed so many things tonight, and thank you for those apps. Yeah, that'd be a good idea. I know I wasn't writing them, but maybe somebody else was. I haven't even looked yet. And I just want to add Evernote to that. That's another great note where you can put your notes. And the other one is Trello, which is a time-focused to-do list. And you can, it keeps you on track. I think that's the one Lisa Torres uses, is Trello. But Miss E.
I have been sitting here enjoying this so much. I've been taking so many notes, and I'm really excited because for once, no one hit my hacks. So I'm going to be covering 3 hacks that people didn't cover, which is phenomenal. But all the ladies covered the ones that are most important, and I will be just recapping that really quickly before we sign off tonight. But darling, the biggest hack you can ever have to be productive is sleep. It's the biggest hack of all. I have seen so many people come into this industry and burn themselves out. That they're on this, go hard, thing for like 90 days, and at the end of 90 days, they're completely burnt out. And I see it over and over again. So I've been around the block a few times on this. So when I see that happening, I actually reach out to people and say, dude, you need to sleep. This is not going to work. You need to sleep. So my biggest hack for being productive is get 7 hours. For me, 6 is not quite enough, 8's too much, 7 is just perfect. So I go to bed around 11, I close my eyes at 11 at night, 6 o'clock in the morning, the alarm goes off. Biggest thing, I'm so glad Kristen mentioned this, discipline. Discipline. Don't look at Facebook. Don't look at your emails, okay? I have this, I'm rigid. I am so rigid on this. Between 6 and 9, I call it my creative time. No one gets to me. Not my dog, not my husband, not what's going on out there. No one gets to me. My email, nothing. With my phone, apps are fantastic. I'm not big on apps. I'm just not a techie. So this is my app for being focused. I mute my phone and I turn it upside down so I can't see what's going on. That's my app for being focused there with my phone, right? And the other thing that I do is I look at the clock on my computer and I watch it like a hawk. I know that if I've got certain things I need to do between that 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock time period. And I know by 9 o'clock I'm shutting my lid. That's it, I'm done. At 9 o'clock I'm out of here because my next hack comes in, and that's exercise. If I don't exercise for 90 minutes every day, I can't be productive. Okay, if I don't feel good, I can't be productive, right? The next hack, meditation. If you are trying to find that space where you just create the most beautiful content, I promise you, this hack, meditation, it will get you there. You'll have this beautiful calmness where you somehow reach down into this beautiful soul that you have, and the most amazing stuff comes out when you are calm. When you are calm. That's the third hack. I mentioned this really quickly. No scrolling before you do your income-producing activities. This took me a long time to get. I would, basically get onto Facebook first thing in the morning. I'd get caught up in conversations with team members, and then I'd get caught up with something in the news feed, and all of a sudden my mind is scattered. I'm going in a million different directions. I sit at my computer. I see that my clock is ticking till 9 o'clock, and I'm like, I am so unfocused. I can't do this. And I refuse to send an email to the list if I haven't done my whole Zen routine. If I haven't done that whole thing, I ain't sending nothing to my list. If they aren't getting the best from me that day, they get none. That's my view on that. So I'm really rigid with that now. Between 6 and 9, no Facebook, no emails, nothing. I don't want to know what's going on in the world until I've got my stuff done. After 9 o'clock, bring it on. Okay, I'm an open house. Bring it on, right? What did I write here? Training. we all must do training, but we can't be in training mode forever, right? And I think you've got to find a time in your day where training works for you. Maybe it's when you're driving. Maybe it's when you're exercising. For me, it's in the afternoon. My brain starts to shut down around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So for me, that's a beautiful time for me to soak up information. So between 4 and 5, that's my training time, right? And I take notes, and hopefully I apply what I've learned, down the track, right? Hopefully immediately. And being social. I have this thing. Maybe it comes from New Zealand or whatever, but we have a strong drinking culture, right? And at 5 o'clock, it's drink time, right? Now, I'm not going to just sit and drink and be unproductive. What I do is I grab my glass of wine, and that's my social time. That's when I follow up on all of my social media. That's when I do my blog commenting. For me, that's my social time. And it's really, really kind of neat because all of my husband's friends, they kind of knock off work at 5 o'clock. So that's his social time, and he's catching up with his buddies. So then I catch up with the team, I catch up with my social media, and it's a nice, relaxing, enjoyable thing. It's not something, oh my God, I've got to get my blog commenting done. Oh, I've got to get my social media done. No, it's such a beautiful pastime for me, right? And then guess what? 7 o'clock, boom, I'm out of here. Why? Because it's family time. No one gets me during family time. Between 7 o'clock at night and like 11 o'clock when I close my eyes, that's family time. So I have my whole life completely regimented by this, like I'm looking at it now, this is my timer right here. When I see that hit a certain top of the hour, half of the hour, I'm done. So I know what I have to do within that period of time. So darlings, I think that was it. Those were my biggest notes. Yeah, turn off Facebook when you're doing income producing activities, turn your phone over, mute your phone, give yourself 3 hours, 3 hours where you have to get everything done. And who hit on it? Kristen did. If you tell someone you've got 8 hours to do this, they'll take hours. You tell them 3 hours, they'll get it done, right? And this is the thing with your blog posts. I know I'm coming up to the top of the hour. Please do not spend 3 hours doing a blog. Don't. You have to find a way to condense that down into 1 hour. But if you are sleeping, if you are meditating, if you are exercising, guess what? You're going to create that content within a shorter space of time. Why? Because you're going to be physically able to do so. All right, darlings, I think that's my lot. I think that was all. Oh, outsourcing. Outsourcing. If you want to be more productive, outsource the stuff you don't like doing. My God, there's so much stuff you can outsource. Go to Fiverr.com, go to Odesk, go to Elance. You can even outsource your blogs if you want to. Find a really good blog writer. You can pay like $10 for a blog post or something like that. Try and find someone who speaks in your voice, and outsource your blogging if you want to. If you're not great at blogging, you don't have to blog. Get someone else to do it. That's what the top guys do, right? And I think that's it. I think that's it. I'm done. Yep, I think that's it. Back to you, Nettie.
Thank you, Erica. Excellent, excellent. And yes, I do want to recap. We covered the negativity, how to bring yourself out of when you're in that flump and you're so negative. We covered that. We covered Zen's Limitless Cocktail. That was huge. But no, she took us through a day and she broke it all down. Your 15 minutes of reading, half an hour of audio, etc., etc. But Morgan covered the overwhelm and how to get around that by, doing 3 blogs in a day or something like that, or also doing videos, 5 videos in one day, changing your clothes. Guilty. I've done that too. It works great. So, Kristen, discipline, consistency equal habits. And that's what you've got to do. And she named us tons of apps, tons of help. She was so informative, and she nailed it with that comment that Erica just reiterated about the 8 hours. Cut it down to 2 hours, get everything done, 2 to 3 hours. Erica covered the sleep, the meditation, exercise, and training, and the wine at 5 o'clock. That was extremely important. So, you know what, gang? I think we've just taken you from A to Z on productivity and how to get there. And I hope you have enjoyed this evening tonight, because I know we've enjoyed bringing it to you. And if you think you'd like to get started with us, because we'd love to have you, just click that button below that says let's get started, or get started right now. Or get back to the person that invited you to this hangout tonight. Go to them, ask them about it, and they'll get you on the team. And if there's one of us that you want to talk to more closely about it, you can hit us up on Facebook or just ask any of us and we will direct you to the person you want to talk to. But for heaven's sakes, don't wait. We're all here to help you, guide you through. So hit the button tonight, hit the let's get started, let's get you going, and we'd love to see you. That's all I can say. And next week, be sure to be here because like Zen said, Pinterest. Oh, I can hardly wait because I am the biggest doofus when it comes to Pinterest, so I need to learn this. And I'm sure there's lots of the rest of you out there. So I understand from what people say Pinterest can be a real time sucker too. So she's going to take us through how we get from point 1 to point 10 on how we can do it and do it quick and do it efficiently. So don't miss that training. Click the button below, get on our team right now. We want you. Get on the Tilt team. But anyways, have a wonderful week, everybody. We love you. Thanks you so much for coming out to listen to us. We appreciate you all so very, very much. Take care, and we will see you soon.